Oh, where is my camera? Sorry for the delay, folks. I was just speaking to my accountant because wrapping up taxes. Let me just fix my camera here. Camo's on. That's right. Okay, one sec. Would help if I had camo running. So there we go. Where's my phone? Cool. There we are. Good to see that I need a haircut still. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. Are my ears dry now? I was cutting the grass before too. So. All right, let's take a peek here. Let's turn down my music a bit. All right, cool. Bit of a delay. Just had to speak to the accountant, like I said. All right. So why is the chat not loading? The chat is loading. What I mean is, in OBS, I have restream chat. It's in a panel, and it always hangs sometimes. All right, I'm just gonna go check on Twitch. I know we're live, but all right. Hey, Nixia 618. Sorry for the delay there. I had a phone call that I had to take, so you know that's how it goes. I'm definitely looking like Wolverine today, but haircut soon, I guess. All right, so like I said, again, apologies for the delay, but let's get to it. Uh, cool. What's that? Is that okay? That's you over on Twitch. Okay, cool. Let me just switch us over to pairing view, even though it's just me. Well, it's not just me. It's me, Darth, and Flash in the mini PC. So we're gonna get back into it. We're doing, you guessed it, Kubernetes the hard way. Let me go find out where we left off. We're looking at, I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it etcd, etcd? I don't know. What do the cool kids call it? Like if I want to say I'm a real Kubernetes like pro, do I say etcd? Man, I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. Cool. So I'll just kind of recap. Yeah, I got to turn my music down a bit. You can't hear the music, but I'm playing Spotify, and I'm actually gonna switch back to the new Arcade Fire album as well. Just drop that. We are doing Kubernetes the hard way, like I said. Okay, new music started, and also if you want to check out what I'm up to, including later today, I'm actually going to be live streaming on the CFE YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about uh, Astro Silver Islands. So check that out. I'll shamelessly promo my own thing because it's my channel, and I don't know. That's what heroes do. That's what Thor says, right? Cool. So yeah, so we're gonna be setting sail for the Silver Islands. So if you want to check that out, I'll just pop that in the chat. All right, my core temperature has cooled down. I don't know about where everybody else is at. Hey, what's up, Fuzzy? But here in Montreal, it is hot already. For those not familiar with some Canadian weather, because a lot of times people do assume it's just cold here all the time. Montreal is super cold in the winter, but in like the summer, which it's not officially summer yet, but it gets hot like in lots of places. Like if you've ever been to like Texas, it can get as hot as that in the summer here too. And I was just cutting the grass before. I cut it yesterday. It was super long, so I got a first pass at it, and I just had to finish it before I was making my coffee in the stream. And basically, uh, I got a little sweat going on again because like I have a push mower. I don't know about everybody else or if you even have a lawn or not, but I used to have like an electric mower, had a gas mower at one point, but like the thing is the you know, I mean, I don't have a small backyard, but it's like I can do it with a push mower. Like I don't need a gas powered one, so like no need to pollute. And the electric one was fine, but it's really not necessary. And I don't know, for anybody that's operated an electric lawnmower, you've probably at some point definitely gone over the extension cord and cut it. So Anyways, it taps as fuck here in Scotland. Yeah, so it gets hot. Yeah, I feel like it could get hot in Scotland in the summer. All right, always good to see Fuzzy. Nixia 618, thanks for joining too, and all the other lurkers wherever you're at. So gonna recap. Uh, so we started this like I don't know. I think it started this last week or maybe mid last week. Getting consistent with streaming in the morning again. And for work, I will plug work for a second here, but I work at a place called Premierum.com. We're a really good solution for securing what matters to you. That's a good catchphrase. But that said, we're really good at securing Kubernetes, and I don't really know Kubernetes yet, so I need to learn Kubernetes. And I had started Kubernetes the hard way last fall when I was working at Open Sauce because we were using Kubernetes there too, and ended up doing a bit of like deployments with Pulumi and stuff, but it was pretty minimal. And I honestly didn't really do much regards to Kubernetes, but uh, I literally need to know it properly now. So I'm going through Kubernetes the hard way, and let's just recap what we've done. We're on the stage here now where we're gonna bootstrap in. I don't know if it's etcd or etcd cluster, but I don't know. I'm gonna pretend I'm cool by saying etcd. And prior to that, we got here by we started off with because I'm on well, it doesn't matter. No, we're not on the Mac. On my mini PC, it's running Ubuntu server. Started off with multipass for creating VMs, and that was pretty easy to do. But you couldn't set it up with Debian. I forget the version number, but it's called Bookworm, and that's what Kubernetes the hard way asked for. And there could have been ways to do it, but I opted to like let's just go on the easy path because like I don't need to make this harder than it already is. So ended up going with Vagrant. Vagrant allows you to install Debian Bookworm. Got that all set up. Um, so basically, jump box, you have two nodes or two nodes. So you have node dash zero, node dash one, and you have a server. And the jump box is what allows you to get to the nodes in the server, is as far as I know from my understanding. And that's all set up. Had some hiccups with setting up authorized keys on the VMs because you want to SSH into them. I got it configured, and then it's like yesterday I came back in and it wasn't working. I hope that's not the case today. We made sure SSH'd into everything. We've set up the yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, the jump box is the control plane. That makes sense. So we got all the authorized keys set up. I double checked. So like can SSH from the jump box into all of them. Can't SSH from, even though this is all on the mini PC, you can't SSH to any of those other no other VMs aside from through the jump box, unless obviously you run Vagrant SSH to those. But like we're pretending that this is in a real environment. Aside from that, we set up all the certificates. We copied them to the appropriate places. We set up the kube configs for like the admin, the scheduler. I can't remember all the things, but that got set up. And I think that's where we're at. Because if I just look at the last step, six was, oh yeah. And then the last thing we did before we ended the stream yesterday is we set up an encryption config and we securely copied it to the server. And that brings us to you down with etcd. Yeah, you know me. So here we are. Okay, and my music stopped for some reason. Let me, there we go. It's back. Cool. So yeah, so that's a recap. Fuzzy, I know you were on and off here listening to me yesterday. Keep me honest. I think I covered everything. Yeah, we down. Yeah, we down with OPP. Yeah, cool. I love that you understand my reference. Cool. All right. Just let me go check socials and work real quick here. Okay, we're over there. We don't need that. The YouTube's open. Cool. Okay, got to thank you for a happy birthday I sent. Okay, nothing going on in the B sky. Let's go see what's going on LinkedIn. All right. Not too much. Okay. Let me just go check Slack real quick. I hope everybody's having a good Friday, or if you're in another time zone, hopefully you're enjoying Saturday, maybe. Cool. Okay. Cool. Let's get back to it. All right, nailed it. Cool. Thanks, Fuzzy. Thanks for keeping me honest. And I do appreciate you saying, "Hey, let's do a mental check of like where we're at." So appreciate those. Okay, so I feel before like hearing about this, I feel it's kind of silly, but I always thought this was kind of referring to the etc folder in like a Linux deployment in a Linux environment, and I didn't realize that this was like a key value store initially. I do now, but so I guess I guess one question, because I know you've done a lot of Kubernetes, Fuzzy. So etcd is what they use, but do people actually replace that with something else? Because like I imagine it's abstracted, so like it's just a key value store, so you could use something else potentially, or do people just stay with etcd and create a cluster with that always? Just curious. No rush to answer. Okay, so I'm gonna have to securely. I'm gonna zoom this in one more there. Let's see here. Boom. Cool. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so we're gonna securely copy from the jump box because that's where I put Kubernetes the hard way, the repo. It was initially on my mini PC, and then I realized, okay, I need to copy stuff from the jump box over. So it made sense to just clone it over there. So we're gonna copy stuff out of the downloads folder there and this units folder, which seems to be like a service file that will start, I guess. Um, Cool. So we're gonna need to SSH in there after and check that. So let's get to it. Let's ghosty it up. Okay. This is me just running Pomerium locally. I have a nice setup where it just bootstraps everything and tears it down, which I enjoy. It's nice. Let me just do a Docker PS. Yep, all clean. Clear. All right, let's go to the mini PC. This is just an alias to SSH in. We're going to SSH to, I'm using Vagrant on the jump box. Just, I could have configured a root user there, but for now, I'm just going to see that. Okay, so I'm going to put you on the Jumbotron here for a sec, Fuzzy. So nothing bad, don't worry. Let's go to Twitch here, pin, and let's paste and let's see. Let's listen to what Fuzzy has to tell us so everybody can see it, because not everybody sees the Twitch chat. So yes. Okay. So in regards to etcd, let's post this up. This should pin. Yeah. So basically what Fuzzy's saying is, yes, it can be replaced, but that is at the top end of scale, or things like container D and more enterprise grade solutions to replace the same layer. Okay, cool. So basically, just use it until you run into scale issues or you start assessing if you're going to have scale issues. And so that makes sense. Cool. Thanks for that, Fuzzy. Let's just unpin that. Cool. Let's get back to it. All right. Gonna zoom in here just so we can see a little better. Also, for folks checking out the stream today, Fuzzy's going to be hanging with me in June, I think June 11th or 12th. I can't remember. We're going to be talking about the bare necessities, and we're going to probably just dig into platform engineering or SRE like stuff. Fuzzy's done a lot of Kubernetes, from what I understand. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm looking forward to it. Uh, this is a side note, and it's nothing bad at all. But like when you've never met somebody, or like you see their picture or avatar, you instantly oh, not a lot Kubernetes. It's all good, doors. I'm just happy we're hanging. But you know how you kind of in your head you get a mental image of somebody. So like I don't even know what I thought. Like I, I've never met Fuzzy, and I don't think I've ever actually seen his picture, but uh, it's kind of funny in my head. I picture Fozzie Bear, which clearly he is not a Muppet, but I also didn't realize he was Scottish, and I heard him I think it was a Twitter space. Describe me in your head. Go. Okay, so uh you have paws. You're, you're little hairy. You have this nice little hat you like to wear. You're big into music with your bandmates like Animal. Who's that eagle? The angry eagle. I think he plays the piano. But anyways, it's just funny. Like I'm just looking forward to hanging. But it's just funny how you, especially like when you read books. Like I got skewed with like the Harry Potter books because I saw the first movie, so I already like my imagination of what they looked like was skewed already. I like Hermione to me in the books looked like she did in the movies because I saw her on film first. But like other books, you just kind of your imagination just kind of thinks what somebody looks like. And anyways, random thoughts on a Friday. All right, so here is the moment of truth. Can we actually SSH into another? I'm gonna cry if it. Okay, we are in. Okay, so our. Okay, I am very happy because our authorized keys, they're still there. I thought some vagrant stuff just went and said like, "Hey, sorry, nope, I'm just gonna wipe out stuff." So what we need to do here is gonna just bring this over and gonna put these side by side and I'll bump this over here and then let's do ls. Yeah, so I got Kubernetes the hard way here. Let's go in there and let's do ls. So yeah, so we got the docs and downloads. Cool. So we're gonna paste this command in. So this is gonna securely copy, looks like a few things, the etcd, the etcd controller, I guess, and then dot service, which I think is probably just a file that will start up a service for it. I'm not sure. Let's see. And we got to pass it over to the server node. Well, that's not. I guess it's not column. Sorry, to the server for Kubernetes as root user, and we're gonna put it in the root folder. So seems to have all worked. Let's go over there. I still got to fix my history, but anyways, actually, I should install McFly in there, but I'll get to that in a second. SSH root at server, and let's do ls minus la. Okay, so we've got our certs in there. I can see, yeah, we've got the etcd stuff, so that's good. And all right, let's get some real estate here. And one sec here. Just got to move my Slack over. So I'm a big fan. I'm curious about other people's thoughts who use Mac OS, but I'm a big fan of the desktops, and like it's just a really cool way to just switch through stuff quickly. And especially like I have my laptop over here, I have my main monitor here, so I can just have them all on different desktops. And then like my stuff I don't want to show on stream, I can just kind of cycle through them. I think it's nice, but I leave it up to you to decide. Okay. But I did want to, I could have sworn I heard Slack make a beep boop. Um, okay, cool. All right. I'm going to zoom this in again. Should I bump this one more? I'm always very yeah, that should be okay for Zoom. Okay, so now we need to extract and install the etcd server and the etcd-ctl command line to utility. We're gonna put them in user local bin, which is yeah, I'm a hacker. Yeah, cool. I know how to copy paste. Watch out, world. Okay, so we're gonna move those into that folder. User local bin is where a lot of stuff just likes to hang. So now if we do ls minus la slash user local bin, not bon or boing. Okay, so we can see it's in there. That's good. And I'm actually gonna switch this. It's human, right? Let's do that. Good enough. Or it was Oha, right? Or O. Yeah, there. That's better. Keep that tight. All right, cool. That's in there. Hey, how's it going, Learner0418? Great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Uh, I won't go through my whole recap, but we're back on Kubernetes the hard way. And right now we're configuring the etcd cluster. So we literally just copied over the stuff from the Kubernetes the hard way repo to the server. And we've just put them in the /user/local bin for the root user. And now we're continuing to configure things here. And if you want to follow along, I'll just paste in where we're at again. So this is where we're at. Cool. And yeah, okay, so let's continue here. All right, let's paste that in. So let's look here. It's going to make a new folder -p. So it's recursive. So /etcd /etc/etcd and also /var/lib/etcd. We're gonna change modem. I forget what 700 is. That's write execute or just execute. 600 is read, I think. I think 700 is read execute. And then we're also gonna copy certificates, the kube API server key, and the kube API server cert, and the I'll go into the etc/etcd. All right. Cool. So let's do a check here. Let's do ls-oh/etc/etc/etcd. Okay, that looks good. Okay, we are golden. Yeah. So there's this file. Yeah. So we're gonna start the service. That's what I figured. So each etcd. I'm actually curious. What does etcd stand for? Uh, K8. What does etcd stand for? Like, I know it's a key value store. Yeah, okay, etcd. Okay, I'm pronouncing it right, so at least I sound cool. Um, but what does it stand for? East- come on, somebody tell me. Let's see here. All right, I'll chat Jupiter. All right. In K8, what does the acronym etcd stand for? I know it's a key value store. It's more an abbreviation. Okay. ETC distributed. However, it's commonly explained as ETC distributed. Okay. Okay. So I wasn't far off when I thought /etc initially there. Okay. So it's ETC distributed, a reference to the Unix etc directory where configuration files live, and D for distributed since it's a distributed key value store. So think of etcd as like /etcd. It stores important system config, but it's distributed, fault tolerant, and used across nodes in the Kubernetes and Ease cluster. Okay, I get that, like that it's distributing it in different because it's distributed, but like it's okay, I guess it's just a key store that happens to be in /etc, and they got lazy and said it's distributed, and that's what we'll call it, and it's just a key value store. And okay, I thought there was something deeper, but it's kind of more like GNU, GNU's not GNU or whatever, past tense of etc. Yeah, I don't know. It's all a mystery. It's all a mystery. Okay, cool. So let's run this. So we're gonna move it because I like to move it. And let's start the etcd server. So, okay, so that's what I figured. It is a service, and we just want to add it as a service that we're going to reload the daemon because it's going to pick up that new service, I guess. We're going to enable it, and then we're going to start it. So let's get it started. Okay, move. Okay, so we moved it to there. Oh, wait, sorry. I just pasted the same command. Cool. Let's clear this. Okay. So we're going to do the daemon reload. We're going to enable etcd and we're going to start it. Okay. So it creates a symlink to, okay. Sounds good. And now if we do system, I'm going to guess here. These are the commands I'm less familiar with. I know that it starts up stuff in, but these are like ones that aren't in my like day-to-day wheelhouse. I just want to see here. Can I get a list of them? Active, failed maintenance, deactivating, reloading, state. Okay, let's try that. Oh, whoops. Would help if I got out of the man pages. Okay, yeah. So this shows me the loaded ones, and I guess we could okay, and we could do grep. Uh, Whoops, except I don't know how to type. Okay, so it's there. Cool, and it's running. Nice. All right. Well, no, the Linux naming conventions entails how much least thought could be given to the naming of anything. Yeah. Naming is hard, I guess, and Linux is like, yeah, screw that. I'm going to call this thing do it or function one. All right. Okay. So we're all good there. The service is running and let's get the member list here. Okay. So Um, okay, that gave us something. Okay, I'm not completely certain what this tells us aside from there's something running on there. We could try curling it just out of curiosity. Oh, I don't have curl. Let's see here. I'm not gonna. I don't think I should probably install curl here, but I could. Apt. Uh, well, you know what? I'm not going to bother with it in here. Let's clear. Let's move this over. All right, so we're bootstrapping the Kubernetes control plane. So in this lab, yeah, we'll bootstrap the control plane. So connect to the jump box and copy. Okay, so let's exit here. Back in the jump box. Okay, so we're going to copy all this stuff over to the server. So let's do that again. I'm still in the Kubernetes the Hard Way repo, so we can do all that. There we go. Nice. Okay. The commands in this lab must be run on the server machine, so that makes sense. SSH root at server. Cool. Create the Kubernetes configuration directory. Okay. Install the binaries, so the API server, the controller manager, the scheduler, and kubectl. And we're going to put in user local bin, which we already created for the root user. Or it's not even the root user. Sorry, that's just for everybody. Cool. All right. Now we're going to make a folder for Kubernetes, copy all the certificate stuff over, including the encryption config. Okay. And then we're going to create another service. So let's do that. And then move the kube controller manager kube config into place. Right. Engage. All right. Create the kube controller manager service, and I imagine we're gonna do a daemon reload at some point for this. Cuttlefish time. Yeah, yeah. Da, da, right. So we're gonna move the kube scheduler config to the Kubernetes folder. This is all on the server again, just saying it out loud. And we need to move over the YAML. And these are all things that we generated previously. Okay, I'm gonna clear this so we're all right. And let's do this one. Cool. Yeah, so we're gonna do daemon reload again. We're gonna enable these three services and then we're gonna start them. So let's do this. Cool. And then let's do, what was it? System. Okay, there's a is active CTL. Okay, I'll just do that. Okay, it's just checking here. So let's do that. It's active. And all right. Looks like it's running. Nice. Cool. If you run into any errors, want to view the logs, journal command, for example, to view the logs. Okay. Go. Nice. Okay. So that all seems good so far. So the control plane component should be up and running. Let's verify the kubectl command line tool. Okay. Except that is not it. I do not know how to copy and paste. Okay, so we're gonna get cluster info. We're passing a config and go. Kubernetes control plane is running there. To further debug and diagnose, sure, let's see what it says. Okay, interesting. Maybe something's not set up yet. Okay, so that is running. All right, RBAC for kubelet authorization. So role-based access controls for kubelet auth. All right, so we're going to configure permissions to allow the Kubernetes, not Kubernetes, I guess. Sorry, I said Q. It's like, I don't know. How do you say quishin? I always say quishin, like quit. I don't know. Anyways, we're doing Canadian Kubernetes. That's what we're doing. All right. Cool. That's good. All right. Let's give a cat jam in the Slack to somebody who just released their first newsletter. Nice. Cool. And just going to go hop over on socials for a second here. Okay. Okay. All right, West Boss had some bots steal a picture of his desk setup, and it's posted on Reddit, and bots are commenting on it. So basically, bots not being really successful, I guess. Yeah, that's exactly, Kate. I should install the a boot service. Instead of reboot, it's a boot. Uh, yes, I'd like to sudo a boot. Uh, it's funny. I mean, I know that's the stereotype. I've never said a boot aside from being just joking, but there's definitely, I feel like I have relatives in Saskatchewan, which is in the prairies, and I feel like they probably say it. Hey, Roxy, good to see you. Hey, no worries. Appreciate you hopping in the chat whenever you're around. Um, yeah, Roxy's awesome. She actually just did the. I'm gonna pull it up. Gonna put your mug on the big screen, Roxy, if you don't mind. She did the web dev challenge with. Let's go to Code TV. Go to my dashboard here. Or I don't need to log in right now, but so for folks who aren't aware of Code TV, my old coworker Jason Langsdorf, he has this live stream he does with guests a lot. It's called Learn with Jason. The whole thing's kind of be rebranded to Code TV. He does games and stuff, so like Elite Heat, which is a lot of fun. I haven't been on that, but I have been on the Web Dev Challenge, and Roxy has been as well. So here's Roxy's episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that in the chat. So it's still, I don't know. I watched yours. I mean, it was still you had to do something. It was kind of it's probably challenging to make like a really bad experience for like the premise of the one Roxy and Eve Porcello's team had to do. Well, all the teams. They had to make the worst user experience for using like the Mux video player, which is kind of funny. But yeah, check it out. And if you feel like checking my ugly mug out as well, I did the web dev challenge as well. This we recorded this back in March 11th, I think, before I started doing a bunch of travel. But it was a lot of fun. It was yeah, Roxy's really tall in real life if you've never met her. But yeah, this one was fun too. I was teamed up with Shashi Low. We got together and had a lot of fun competing against the others. And the whole goal was to make a multiplayer game leveraging temporal IO, the workflow engine or orchestrator. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, going on a little side tangent there, but good times. And I think Fuzzy, I think he's looking to expand to the UK or Europe, maybe. I think logistics is a little harder, probably, but oh, cool. Glad you enjoyed the episode. Okay. Since you're just joining us, Roxy, I'm learning Kubernetes because I need to know Kubernetes for work, because Pomerium's really good at securing Kubernetes, and so my experience with Kubernetes is pretty much zero. And now, and now I'm basically just we're doing Kubernetes the hard way from Kelsey Hightower for folks not in the Kubernetes space. Kelsey Hightower is retired now, but he's a distinguished engineer at Google, as far as I know. Big in the Kubernetes ecosystem, did a lot of great work there, and he was kind enough to put this repo out there for the world to help learn Kubernetes. And we're literally building it piecemeal. He's guiding us, but I'm enjoying it, and I definitely ran into some issues initially setting up some permissions and stuff. So I did feel a bit of the pain. Cool. So yeah. So where were we? Let me come back here. What was the last thing we did? We did. Oh yeah, kube config. Yeah. Okay. So the control play is already running. So if we do that, we can see that. So that's where we were. Yeah. So we're setting up role based access now. So this tutorial sets the kubelet authorization mode flag to webhook. Webhook mode uses a subject access review API to determine authorization. So I'm not sure what that is. Let's go look at that real quick. Zoom in here. Why can't these docs are not accessible because I can't zoom them in. That's interesting. But let's paste this in. That's what we're looking at. I can probably. Oh no, they are accessible. I take that back. Sorry, I was doing the wrong thing to zoom in. Okay, so actually checking API access. Okay, so kubectl, which is the main thing you use to control Kubernetes, um, from my understanding so far, and so it connects to, from my understanding, what I've learned so far in like ramping up at Pomerium, even though I haven't done anything really Kubernetes related yet, is you basically have a Kubernetes API, and the API, it's an endpoint that kubectl, when you make commands, it actually calls that. And So here we're saying auth, can I create a deployments namespace dev? So, okay, so this is just basically using kubectl to create the permissions, I guess, for authorizing certain things. The output is similar to this. Okay, no, sorry. This is somebody checking like, hey, can I create a deployment? And you'll get a yes or no. Okay, got it. Can I do prod? Which you get an answer of no, which makes sense. All right, cool. So, all right. So I guess that's enough of that for now. But okay, so we're in the server now already. We're already SSH'd into there. So create the system cube API server to kubelet cluster role with permissions to access the kubelet API and perform most common tasks with managing pods. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so we're saying, so right now, I guess one thing I want to understand is we're setting up Kubernetes. So I'm logged in as root, and I guess as the root user, I'm allowed to do this because like if somebody else SSH'd in, well, I guess if you've SSH'd into the jump box, you can do whatever you want. Sorry. Because normally this is not exposed. You have to get access to the jump box, I guess. So I guess it makes sense that you can run this. Okay. So we're saying apply kube API server to kubelet YAML with this kube config and admin config. So these are things we set up in a previous stream. So let's run that. Okay, so it's set up some roles. Okay, and let's see. Do we have ls? Okay, we could look in that file for a second. Vi cube. Okay, so basically this is what we just applied. And so this is everything's YAML all the way down as Fuzzy loves. Um, and basically, so these are some of the things we're setting up, I guess. So let's see here. So the label, these are RBAC defaults. There's there's namespace, not name, sorry. This name here. So we're just saying this cluster role, the rules, API groups. There's nothing set, I guess. And these are the resources you can access. All verbs, meaning I guess you can do get, post, like REST stuff. What else is in here? Basically, it's setting some stuff. Uh, we'll learn more, I guess, as tune in. Cool. So at this point, the Kubernetes control plane is up and running. So the control plane is basically what's how things are configured for Kubernetes. Run the following commands from the jump box to verify it's working. Okay, so we got to get out of the jump box. You need a good Dante's Inferno on a Friday there, Fuzzy. Cool. We're back in the jump box, so I'm gonna curl YAML hell. Is that why people say yell? Does it come from YAML hell and they just yell? I don't know. Have to look that up. Okay, so we're gonna curl and we're gonna say, okay, so we're curling to the Kubernetes server and we're passing the CA cert, so the certificate authority, and we have this ca.crt file. This is on the jump box, or it should be. Actually, before I do that, is it down below? Temp certs, I think that's where I put it. Okay. CD temp certs ls. Okay, this is where the CA cert is. Um, okay, and so yeah, so we're gonna curl and we're passing the certificate, and that certificate authority is on the other machine as well. So we're gonna hit server.kubernetes.local. Nice. Okay, and just to show how we're able to hit that, we have if we go cat etcd hosts, we configured this in another stream, uh, but I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, yeah. Yell comes from YAML hell, so people just yell. Um, okay, so yeah, we configured this before. Roxy, I don't think you saw these other streams, but basically, the host file allows us to say like some IP points to this particular address. So that's why we're able to hit server.kubernetes.local. And if we just do this again, so basically, I'm actually not sure what. Oh, that's the sorry. That's the API. That's the Kubernetes server version, just returning a JSON payload. That's what's happening there. Okay, so that's good. All right, just gonna check in on work here. All right, gotta remind myself about that in an hour. We're at like 10:30. Cool. Uh, It's good. Just gonna go check socials out real quick. Cool. LinkedIn. All right. Just checking out stuff here. All right. Cool. I'm just connected with somebody. Nice. All right. Let's get back to it. Okay. I'm gonna put a marker for my to go back to my yell YAML hell thing. It's kind of funny. I don't mind YAML honestly, but it's like, you know, I'm used to JSON a lot. I think as long as there's something formatting it and linting it, it's okay. But okay. So now we got to bootstrap the Kubernetes nodes. Did I? Yeah, we did the control plane. Let me get back to the end here. Did I? Okay, yeah. So we're all good here. Yeah. Okay, so we have two nodes on in the Kubernetes cluster. So, and we can just see that from the etc hosts. We've got this node dash 0 and node dash 1 that we can hit. And let's go and bootstrap those. So at this point, we're going to loop. This is just a bash for loop. I am not a bash expert, but we're going to grep it. And is the machine's text in here? ls? No, it isn't. Let's do ls. There's the machine's text. Okay, and I did not configure the subnets, did I? Machines. I did not. So let's fix that real quick. So let's do this. Let's go to Kubernetes the hard way. Let's go here real quick. Uh, where did we set that up? That was probably in the jump box. Machines text. Provisioning compute, sorry, that's where I did. So these two, I just need to add this. So let's just add that and let's do ba, 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 la 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 there and let's do there and this one is dot one, I think. What was it? 1.0, sorry. Do, do, do. 1.0. Okay, and let's just expand this. Okay, that looks okay. Escape, right, quit. Cool. All right, let's close that. Oh, no, not the terminal. Okay, and let's get back here. So let's actually just do this first. Let's do this, and then no, that's not the host. It's the subnet I want. Anyways, Let's just do this config subnet. What's the difference here? Bridge, kubelet config. You know what? I'm just gonna YOLO it. Cool. Can't read configs. Okay. This has okay. That makes sense. I have to actually move the machine text to the Kubernetes the hard way. So folder, move machines text to slash kits. Where is it? Okay, let's remove that and let's. Well, I'll leave that there. Let's cd Kubernetes the hard way. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Clear. Okay, let's move machines.txt to Kubernetes the hard way. It's good. And cd k ls machines text configs. Okay, that should work now. So now if we run this again, we're reading the machines text. We've got access to the configs. There we go. Okay, so those all copied properly. Cool. And let's look here now. Uh, for host and yeah. So here we're going to loop through the two nodes. We're going to do a secure copy of all these things into the root folder into the root folder of the root user. So let's do that. Okay. So I have a question, Fuzzy. You were saying some people might use container D instead of etcd. So is container D here just gonna replace it, or is it a different use case? Okay. Actually, you know what? And while you're doing that, I can do chat Jupyter. What's the difference between K8's etcd and container D? Okay, so there are two different things. I maybe I misheard you when you said container D. Yeah, so I know it's the key value store. It sets up the cluster state. It's the Kubernetes database. Yeah, okay, that I get. It's a high performance container runtime that manages the lifecycle of containers. Oh, makes sense. It's called container. So I guess container daemon. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, okay. I should have realized that when I asked it. I just thought you were referencing it as the database, but okay. So let's look at this. And so we're going to, on the two nodes in the Kubernetes cluster, we're going to secure copy these CNI plugins. I'm not sure what a CNI plugin is. CNI plugin K8. Okay, so they're network plugins. Let's just copy that over for the crowd. Okay. Okay, container network interface. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So there are network plugins in what sense? Just giving this a quick read. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Fuzzy. Yeah. No, I just wasn't sure, but why is it a plugin? So, okay, so it's uh okay, so you need a loop back so it runs on localhost. That's one thing. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Also support host ports. So the CNI networking plugin supports host port. You can use the official port map plugin. Okay, yeah, I figured. And I saw this the other day because like when I was initially trying to, I've set up Pomerum Zero, which is like, uh, it's there's a free tier to it. Like it's what I currently have for my home lab, but it's also a paid product. But like it serves on port 443. You open up that on your router or wherever you're serving this. Hey, how's it going, Light? Thanks for joining us on YouTube. We're digging into Kubernetes. I'm still pretty fresh to Kubernetes, and we're going through Kubernetes the hard way. And right now, we're setting up the 2 nodes on here. But what was I saying? I lost complete track. Yeah. So, like, I've set up Premiere Zero a ton of times, and it's okay, boom, up and running. And I had K3s on the mini PC initially. It's still there, but I didn't realize it well, it had traffic on it as well, so that was causing issues. But it was taking over port 443, which is why I was running to issues. But I also noticed it like it created up this whole structure and like IP tables and stuff, and just for setting up the whole network. So I guess that's somewhat related to this. And Light, if you're just joining, we're at the point where uh, like I said, we're setting up the nodes, and now we're just copying over from the Kubernetes the hard way repo the CNI plugin, so the container network interface plugin. So that's what's here. So that's all copied over, and we're doing this all from the jump box. This is what allows us to get into the nodes in Kubernetes and the server. Okay, so let's SSH into node 0. Okay, now provisioning a Kubernetes worker node. So we need some OS dependency. So uh, the SOCAT binary enables support for kubectl port forward command. Okay, so I'm not sure what all these are yet, but we'll find out. Okay, and we're gonna have to do this on the other node too, I imagine. Okay, so Kubernetes has limited support for the use of swap memory. Swap memory, to the best of my understanding, is it's kind of like fake memory that lives on disk, and you, I used to do this all the time on on Windows 95 uh, or whatever version of Windows up until I think even Windows XP. But you're like, oh yeah, it's more memory, and not really. But anyways, uh, yeah, so it limits the support of swap memory because it's difficult to provide guarantees and account for pod memory utilization when swap is involved. Okay, verify if swap is available. Okay, and that tool is appropriately called swap on. And if the output is empty, then swap is disabled. If swap is enabled, you turn it off. Okay. To ensure swap remains off. Yeah. Okay. Let's create the installation directories. Okay. All right. So these are just required directories, and we're going to move certain binaries into those folders we created. Okay. So now let's talk about the container networking interface networking. So we're going to create a bridge. So let's copy this, and so we're going to move this bridge configuration and this loopback configuration, except are those on here? Hold on a sec. Okay, yeah, we did copy them over. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna move those. Let's go back. Sorry. Let's copy that. Okay. We're putting him in the I guess the container network interface. I don't know what net.d is, maybe the daemon folder, not sure. Okay, now to ensure network traffic is crossing the CNI bridge network, is processed by IP tables. So that's what I was saying, IP tables. So I guess this is where it's going to start building up stuff maybe. and configure the BR net filter kernel module. Holy guacamole. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna echo to see some stuff for the comps, and then let's see here. Okay, so it outputted the IP tables equals one, and it wrote it to those comp files. I'm not sure what's the dash p is. That the config, but let's find out. Okay. Well, I'm impressed. You're all sitting here staring at me, copy pasting stuff, pretending I know what I'm doing. But that's how you learn. All right, cool. Let's go there. Just doing a quick check at work stuff. All right, that's good. Okay, cool. Let's get back to it. Oh yeah, all good multitasking. Checking in laptops in the matrix. Okay, so we ran that. So now we need to configure container D. So let's clear here. So we got to make a folder for it in the slash etc folder. We're gonna move the container D configs. We're gonna move this service to the system folder, and I'm sure we're gonna reload the daemon again at some point. All right, configure the kubelet. Create the kubelet config YAML configuration file. Okay. And we're going to move the kubelet service into the system. So it's going to be another, we're going to, yeah, daemon reload. I see it down there already. Okay, cool. We're just moving files like a boss. Or kind of like, I don't know if anybody uses Apple Fitness, but I like training with his last name's escaping me, but his first name's Kyle. And through it, he's like, let's attack this like a beast, like a boss. So, anyways. All right, so let's reload the daemon, and we're going to enable those new things we've just moved over, and then we're going to start them. All right, so that looks good so far. We're going to check. Hey, yo, kubelet, babe, you up? Yes, you are. Okay. Oh, thanks, Light. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, just I don't know if you've ever been in any of my streams, but they're super informal. I like getting out of my comfort zone and learning things, and it's just fun. It's the expectations are things are gonna fail sometimes. It's honestly one of the reasons why I like live streaming. Like, there's nothing wrong with like polished YouTube videos for sure, but like when you watch a polished YouTube video to learn something, which is still very good, you know, they don't show you what went wrong, or how many times they had to do something maybe. And I just like the nature of this. And I try to, I mean, obviously I'm talking to all of you, but this is typically how I work, minus well, I do talk to myself sometimes too. And I do talk to Chat GPT or Claude, or if I'm in my editor. But this is, I mean, here I'm following a tutorial right now, but like try to keep it as real as possible, not to, I don't know. That's just how I operate. Um, and even when I have guests on, it's super informal. And let me turn down my fan a bit, because like the whole goal is it's just learn something, hang with people, good vibes, basically. And I do appreciate you joining the stream. Light, I think this is the first time I see you in one, so it's definitely appreciated. Okay. So yeah, so we got to do all this on the other node. So let's just go back up to the top. Okay, let's exit here. And let's do SSH root at node 1, except there's no SSJ command. That's like super serious jump box. I don't know. Cool. All right. So yeah, we're gonna do literally the same steps we just did. We're gonna install some things required by Kubernetes, little apt-get update, apt-get install, and then we'll make sure we got a swap on. Almost feel like Karate Kids. Swap on, swap off. Okay, so swaps off still. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, let's do all the same thing. Rinse, repeat. Let's create those things. Whoops, that's the same thing. Let's copy this. Boom. Let's do this one. Do it like I said, my trainer Kyle on Apple Fitness says, attack it like a beast, like a boss. I don't know. It's catchy. Cool. Me out here just mod probing. You know, it's how we roll. Okay, let's clear this. Boom. All right. And then we need to get things up and running again shortly. Let's copy that over. This one. All right. We got to restart the daemon and get all those things going. And let's do it again. Hey, babe, you up? Yes, you are. Okay, cool. All right. And we did that for node 0 and node 1. That's good. Now we have to do this from the jump box. Okay, we're going to do kubectl get nodes with our kube config. And I'm guessing we should get node 0 and node 1. Booyah! I feel pretty good, even though I've just been copy pasting stuff. But so so what this tells us is we copied over configs, binaries, started some services, reloaded the daemon so the services start. And it looks like we have 2 active nodes in Kubernetes right now. The this is get node, so like that's why we don't see the server, I guess. There's other like kubectl has all kinds of commands, I'm sure. Okay, so let's configure kubectl for remote access. And this lab will generate a kube config file for the kubectl command. Cool. Well, there's my work done for the day. Okay, nice. Cool, cool. Light saying, I learned the same way too. Talking it out, been learning JavaScript alongside your stream. Good vibes. Cool. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Yeah. I've done a lot of JavaScript and TypeScript. 10 minutes done. Get that bag. Get that bag, Fuzzy. Or are you paying that bag? Um, yeah. I'm still a big fan of JavaScript Lite, TypeScript too. I've been doing, believe it or not, TypeScript since 2015. There's a lot of people discovering TypeScript now, like in the past few years, but it was actually created in 2012, so it's been around since 2012. And fun facts, there's a TypeScript documentary you can watch too, like one of those honeypot things, I think. But like VS Code basically was what the TypeScript team used to dog food TypeScript. So that's why well, not why, but like so VS Code is an Electron based app. It uses web tech, it uses TypeScript. And I always laugh when people say, like, for people that say they don't like TypeScript, but they use VS Code, because like any kind of IntelliSense that you get or any kind of refactoring that you can do, even in JavaScript, that's all powered by TypeScript. So just makes me chuckle a bit. Anyways, um, cool. So we got two nodes and one DJ. All right, I'm gonna turn off my fan for a bit. Uh, I had it on because I was out cutting I was mowing the lawn before with my push mower. Had to do attempt number 2 today because the grass was so tall yesterday. So did my first cut yesterday. Did a quick cut before the live stream, and yeah, basically, I was a little hot. So my ears and everything were just overheating. So needed to bring down the core temperature. I overheat. I not overheat. I Yeah, I overheat in general. Yes, I said it right. I'm that weird guy in the winter that takes out the garbage in his boxer shorts kind of thing. All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty good so far. It's just like honestly, I think I don't know if everybody's been with me through the whole way through this, but Fuzzy's been in most of these streams, I think. And it's like the initial struggle is just getting those keys working properly with the VM so I could SSH into them. I still don't know what happened because like I did it twice and the second time it stuck. So, anyways, cool. Let's close that. Yeah, push mower for the win, honestly, unless you have like an acre of land or something where you could push mow it, but you might die, you know. But like I my front and backyard, it's doable with a push mower. The only thing with the push mower is appreciate it, Fuzzy man. Um, the only thing with a push mower is like you gotta well, even with an electric or a gas mower, you just need to trim the blade every now and then. And it's like the push mower though, it's weird because it's like a revolving blade. So I found somebody, not that I like literally never use Facebook aside from like marketplace occasionally or anyways, found some guy that sharpens push mowers and he attacked that sucker, but I do need to basically sharpen it again. All right, so Fuzzy's just saying so like for folks who weren't following along the other days, but what happened was you forgot to make the keys lived, uh, long lived or long loved. So Vagrant had. Oh, okay. So Vagrant had expired them by the time you went back. Oh, I did not know that. I guess my naivete with VMs was I just assumed like they just stayed in there, like even if you spin it up or down. Okay. So I'm not really sure how I made them long lived, to be honest, because like I just basically copied in them into the SSHD authorized keys file. But maybe we can chat about that another time, Fuzzy, unless you have like a two-liner explain how I did that, because I thought I did the same thing. But all right, so okay, yeah. So we've already been here. Each kube config requires a Kubernetes API server to connect to. We've done this already. We checked this before. Oh, That's that's okay. This is right because my certs, I'm gonna move them into here. So let's move temp certs to here. Let's ls. Okay, I didn't want to do that, but let's do move temp certs star to yeah, that's better. Okay, clear. That's rm temp certs. Oh, okay. I know you corrected yourself, Fuzzy, but we're gonna say we forgot to make the keys long loved because you know if there's no love, felt neglected, I guess. Okay, so I've got the CA cert here in the right folder now. So let's go back here. Where was I? Okay. So essentially we're doing a curl, so we're doing a get to the Kubernetes server, and I guess we pass a certificate. I've never passed a certificate using curl yet. I've passed data, different verbs and stuff, but so I'm trying to understand why we need to pass the certificate though, because the server.kubernetes.local has that certificate and it's HTTPS. So it's not clear to me why we had to pass it, but you know what? Let's see what happens if you don't. I'm sure it's going to fail, but let's see here. Hold on a sec. Oh, I left a dash in there. So let's do. Okay, so let's do this again. Okay, SSL certificate problem. Unable to get local issuer certificate. More details here. Oh, you know what this is? I wonder if this is because like when you're in a browser, like we're not in a browser right now. like the browser has like there's a whole certificate, like there's a whole thing of certificates like authorities. And because we're in curl and not a browser, I guess we need to say like here's a certificate authority that uh, I trust in this session, and it's gonna look that up. Maybe I'm not positive there. If you can't love, you are not authentic. Yeah, I always love my keys, man. Me and my keys, we like this respect. That was kind of like a Canadian Ali G to some degree. All right, cool. I'm here with my main man, Boutros Ghali. Sorry, that's an old. If you even know what Ali G is, that's a very old episode. Okay, so now we're gonna generate a kube config file suitable for authenticating as the admin user. So, okay, we've got the CA cert in here. Kubernetes set cluster. Oh, yeah, okay. Here, let's just paste this in and talk it through it. So our cluster, we did this the other day, but our Kubernetes cluster is called Kubernetes dash the dash hard dash way. And so we're gonna say config set credentials admin. Okay, we have an admin certificate that we generated in another stream. Uh, the K, big ups the K, it's massive. Yes, yes, yes. Oh man, Ali G, what a goat. Um, cool, cool. Okay, so we're setting credentials for the admin using a particular certificate, and that's the client key. And then we're setting a context, Kubernetes the hard way, uh, with that cluster, and the user is admin. And we're saying use that context. And okay, so the context is Kubernetes the hard way. So does that, this is a general question, Fuzzy. So like I understand you can switch contexts. So this is like doing kubectl config use context Kubernetes the hard way. This would be like if I would do like assuming we're in a, I could do kubectl config use context dev, or kubectl config use context prod. Is that's kind of what that is, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Um, so let's run this. Okay. So user admin is set. Context Kubernetes the hard way was created, and we switched to context Kubernetes the hard way. It's good. The results of running the command should create a kube config file in default location. So let's do cat dot cube is my Danish second cousin says. Okay. Config. Okay, we got a config. That's nice. Nice. Bryce the Nice. Ali G is one thing, but this is a great movie too. Bryce the Nice. Or well, it's French Brice de Nice, but in the movie they say Bryce the Nice. It's a funny movie. He's in other movies too, like Agent OSS, like agent, uh, special agent. But check this out. I'll drop that in there. Or actually, let's do the IMDb instead. Brice de Nice, also known as Bryce the Nice. All right. I won't play any clips on this because this is my work computer. Not that I'm personally worried, but in case something inappropriate shows up. It's been a minute. Okay, so we've got the kube config in the right place. So let's do this now. Kube CTL version. Okay, so we're getting the client version and all that. And hold on, LSCA start. Okay, I want to do one thing here. So there's that. And then now if we go back to, gonna go back in my history here. So we're gonna see, I'm guessing kubectl version is just hitting this endpoint now. That's what that's doing. So you see we get 1.32.3 for the client version. That's it. 1.32.3. I don't know what customize is yet, but okay. Yeah, ads. Got to keep them, I guess. I don't know. Um, until I make it big, I guess. But even then, I think you still have them. Okay, so yeah, so calling kubectl version, we can see we're clearly hitting endpoints on the Kubernetes server. And I'm bringing this up to you for my own learning, but like getting back to work stuff. So Pomerium is an identity aware proxy. I'm not going to go in all the weeds of it right now, but basically we secure your stuff by proxying it. So like we're in front of whatever you do. And I know for Kubernetes, even though I haven't done it yet, this https server.kubernetes.local, we would basically proxy to that and we could decide if you could access something or not in the API. That's generally how I've understood it. But anyways, let's keep going because I'm going to do that at some point once we do get Kubernetes set up. All right, so let's clear here. Let's go get some kubectl nodes. There we go. Boom. All right, provisioning pod network routes. So again, my understanding of the breakdown, you've got the nodes there, and then the nodes will have pods. So think of it like the pods are like instances for that node. Like if one goes down, like there's another pod there still, but another pod will come back up. I think they by default just regenerate. Okay. So, whew, okay, let's see here. In this section, you'll gather information required to create routes in the Kubernetes the Hard Way VPC network. All right, so it's virtual private. What's the C in VPC stand for again? VPC cloud. Okay, yes. Virtual private cloud network, which is our cloud is my mini PC at the moment. I don't know about what you're doing because I'm still a beginner. Is it cybersec related? So what we're doing, Light, is we're setting up Kubernetes and we're doing it like from scratch through a repository that I shared. I can share it again here. And basically, the high level of Kubernetes is it's an orchestration, I guess, tool or framework that allows you to manage containers, and it's used to really make something super scalable. This is not something you're not gonna deploy your website on Kubernetes. Basically, you could, but it's not meant for something like that. But like, like where I used to work at, like Netlify, like they use Kubernetes in there. Vercel as well, I believe. I'm sure Netflix does. Big companies where they have to have Google as well, because like that's kind of where it came out of initially, I think. Like yeah, it came out of there initially, but there's all kinds of people that contributed to it. I think the initial thing was called Borg at Google. We can check that. Borg, Google. Yeah, the predecessor to Kubernetes, Borg. There we go. Here, I'll drop that in the chat. We're going down history lane, even though I'm not super familiar with Kubernetes still. Cool. Yeah. So it's not it's not necessarily cybersec related, but it's more, I'd say it's probably more networking and container related. So more like DevOpsy platform engineering kind of thing. So, but yeah, but like there's obviously security involved. So it is, I would say, like cyber sec adjacent, like in terms of like, you need to secure it properly. So um good question though. Okay, so is the machines dot text in here? Yeah, it is. Cool. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, okay, yeah, so this is what I saw. Okay, this is just gonna generate some environment variables. So like if we do echo dollar server IP, we get it, or like node one underscore subnet. So we get some things here. So let's clear that. So we're going to use that now, and then we're going to SSH into the root server and give the boy the site I made the other day, bruv. Oh yeah, good call, good call. Cyber security framework. There we go. Cool. Yeah, check this out. If you're interested, check this out. Fuzzy worked on this. I don't think you did the whole thing, Fuzzy, but you partially worked on that, or you worked with other people on this site. So it's yeah, so it's a cybersecurity skills framework. Comes from the OpenSSF and Linux Foundation, their education branch. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to SSH into the root server, and it looks like we are going to write a file, or no, it's end of file, end of file. Where is this writing to though? And then we'll find out in a second. Let's do this. Boom. Okay. Ooh, SSH root at server. Okay. Clear. What did that just do though? Oh, all yourself. Awesome, man. That's great. Okay, so we're gonna create routes in the virtual private cloud. We got the IPs. Okay, on the root server. Oh yeah, sorry, we did IP route. Yeah, so it's IP tables. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that part. So if we do IP tables, what is it? Well, we'll figure it out after. But basically, it's adding stuff into the IP tables, I believe. Okay, now we're on the jump box still. We're going to do this on node 0 now. And then let's do it on node 1. Cool. So let's clear. Yeah, so now we're going to say get a route. Okay, so we have a default, and it points to the IP address of that machine. It's the E0 card, I guess. Ethernet 0 is the NIC on there, the network interface card. And okay, I don't fully understand all of it yet, but we've configured routing. And let's check out node 0. Okay, and let's check out node 1. Okay, cool. Clear. Okay, we got about 11 minutes before I jump off. Ain't none in the if know how to use solid.js. Cool. All right. Smoke test. Okay, so we're gonna in this section be able to verify the ability to encrypt secret data at rest. Okay, let's look at that. Let's post that in the chat. Okay. Data is encrypted when written to etcd. That makes sense. After you restarting your kube API server, any newly created or updated secrets should be encrypted when stored. To check this, you can use the etcd-ctl command. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, so we're gonna create a new secret that is a generic secret, I guess. There's different categories. We're doing it in the Kubernetes the Hard Way cluster, which is the cluster we created. And we're going to say from literal. So the key is my key and the data is data, key value. Okay, so it created it. And now print a hex dump of the secret stored in XCD. Okay. Okay, so this is a hex dump. This is not, completely readable, but you can see some stuff in there. It's normal. Yeah, so if we do the etcd key should be prefixed with keys colon enc encrypted. Okay, so we can see here stuff like this. Okay, so that's good. Poof. All right, let me share that. Just gotta check the Slack real quick. Da-da-da. All right, that's good. This new Arcade Fire album's really good. All right. Boop, boop. Oh, this is a great jump off point. This is a deep one. Okay, cool. All right, let's see how much left we have here. Okay, next cleaning up. So, okay, we got. I mean, I don't have a hard stop, but let's try and wrap things up at in 9 minutes here. Just trying to stick to like 2 hours. Okay, so deployments. In this section, you'll verify the ability to create and manage deployments. So create a deployment for the Nginx web server. Okay, so create deployment, Nginx image, Nginx latest. So I'm assuming this is the Docker image or it's on, it must be the Docker uh, repository by default because I know there's others like k.io and stuff. But let's go ahead. So we're going to create a deployment. We're calling it Nginx, and it's using the latest Nginx image. Okay, so created it. Okay, all right. Thanks, man. Vercel preview deploys. Yeah, yeah. Cool. All right, so we're getting the pods for the Nginx. There's one pod running. That's good. All right, port forwarding. So we're going to get the pods. We're going to list the one that is, well, let's just run this. Okay, so pod name. So let's do this. Echo. Okay, so Nginx is what we deployed, but this part here at the end is because it's for that particular pod. If we had more than one pod, the suffix would be different. Okay, we've done that. Let's do this. So kubectl, we're gonna port forward that pod name to internally. It's running on port 80, I'm assuming, and we want to access it from 8080. There we go. Okay. So we're in the jump box right now. So we got to do a new terminal. Let's do this. All right, you know what? Actually, let's open a new tab and let's go to the mini PC again. Let's SSH vagrant at jumpbox la boîte, as they say in French. Clear. All right, and now we should be able to curl. Cool. So we have a basic, it's just maybe probably just an index.html file, nothing in it, but we've got something up there. Switch back to the previous terminal. Okay. And stop the port forwarding. Yes. And then if we come back over here. Okay. It's not telling me to come back there. I assumed. Okay. Now let's get the logs. There we go. So we can see it started the pod and we can see what's going on in there. Okay, cool. Clear. All right. So now ability to execute commands in the container. So kubectl exec. I'm not sure what the -ti is. and we're gonna say the pod name, and we just want to output the engine. Okay, and then I guess we're gonna run the command nginx -v to get us the version. Okay, cool. In this section, you'll verify the ability to expose applications using a service. Okay. All right, and um, I swear I hate how people go about ascribing the team intelligence in pretty much everything. Yeah, Docker image. Okay, cool. This JS intelligence said the stupid. Ah, cool. All right. Didn't catch the whole context there, but all good. Word. There's always drama in JavaScript land. Uh, it's kind of refreshing being in this space now. I'm sure there's probably drama somewhere, but I haven't seen any yet, so I'm not looking for it. All right, cool. So let's run this. And so to expose applications using a service, expose the Nginx deployment using a node port service. Okay, let's see what this does. Service slash Nginx exposed. And so what this load balancer service type cannot be used because your cluster is not configured with cloud provider integration. Okay, yeah, we're not doing cloud provider stuff. Okay, so retrieve the node port assigned. Okay, sure. All right, and we're gonna get the host name. So here we're calling the kubectl command. We're saying get pods. We're listing only the Nginx app and the JSON path of the payload return. I feel like that's probably running. I forget that CLI thing for JSON, but anyways, so we're saying the output, it's going to be a JSON path, and we want to get the node name basically. Okay, and then we'll just say echo $node name. There we go. And that's good. So now let's make an HTTP request to the IP address and then Nginx node port. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so the thing to note here now is we can actually, that's the same as just doing this dash I HTTP node dash one, and what was the port? Uh, it was 8080. Sorry, 80, I think. No, what was it? Yes, thank you, monitor. I know I need to take a break. No, not port. What was it? Node port. Yeah. Echo. Just, I mean, we can obviously see it like that, but echo, echo. Okay, 3368. Sorry. So now if we go to 3368, we can access this through a name, and this is something that Kubernetes is going to need, I guess. All right. And we're at 1129. Let's clean up. Is in this lab, you'll delete the compute sources created in this tutorial. Next, start over. Okay, and then start over. Oh, nice. Okay, so we did it, Joe. Okay, cool. I guess we finished everything. Oh, wow. Cool. Well, that's a great place to wrap up. Looks like we finished Kubernetes the hard way. I understand a little more about Kubernetes. Definitely not a pro yet, but this is cool. Thanks for everybody hanging. And for anybody interested, let's do this. I'm gonna shamelessly plug what I'm doing later today. So if you want to come and learn some Astro this afternoon, if the site will load up, I'm going to be talking about server islands in Astro. That's another live stream going on at 2 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. And You can also see the full schedule of all the stuff I get up to. And thanks again for hanging, everybody. Cool. All right. See you in the next one.